So, we have had a ton of surprises this offseason, things that we never could have expected, especially with all of this coronavirus stuff and the pandemic. One thing that wasn't a surprise was realignment. I think everybody expected
Yeah,
you guys to go back to 2-6A, the little Southwest Conference where you belonged, and you already said that you're really excited about that. The last 2 years you were in 3-6A, the Metroplex district with Euless Trinity and Haltom and those schools. So talk about that experience. Was it kind of what you expected it was going to be? And what did you learn from that that can help going forward, kind of being with a different type of team in your
yeah.
district?
We're real excited about being back. I've already said that just to be back out playing, our traditional rivals and just it's where we belong. And nothing better than playing Permian or Lee or any of them, Midland, Friendship, in our stadium, and you just get a better feel. It's a better crowd. It means more to people out here. We're excited. And we're real excited about all of our sports being together. This is the first time in a long time that all of our sports have been in the same district. We sometimes we would have football somewhere else, and then sometimes football and volleyball were one place and everybody else was somewhere else, and then we were all somewhere. So it's a cool thing that we're all together way out west. So the other district taught us that you got to. It's a competitive deal. I think it helped us. I think it helped us understand that we can play against that kind of talent week in, week out. You have to play there's nobody over there that was somebody that you could say, hey, we might could get these guys this week without playing our best. There was no one you could feel that way about. And this district is that way also, the one we're in. But playing that talent week in and week out helped us. You got to play at a little bit faster speed. I think that helped us. When we go over there for the playoffs now, maybe they'll give us a better feel.
And the non-district schedule, looks really challenging with schools like Shoemaker, who you know them well. You've played them the last few years. Vandegrift out of the Austin area, Tascosa. And I was kind of surprised to see Tascosa on the schedule because it seems like they kind of are the ones that threw a wrench
Yeah.
in the whole alignment thing the last couple of times. But talk about the district or the non-district schedule. Were you doing that intentionally to make it that tough? And talk also about how tough it is being kind of an isolated team out here. The only other 6A teams at least an hour and a half away, and they're now a district team, so you can't even
Yeah.
schedule them in non-district. So how tough is it to find teams that are willing to do, come here and then, go there and schedule in
Yeah.
non-district?
Yeah, the scheduling is. I mean, every year it's that way. You know, anybody that we're the same size as, we're in district with them. So that's why I like having a big district, because it just means less scheduling. So, but all of our non-district games are 3 hours away because that's the only competition that will play us. You know, some of the 5As that are a little bit closer than that won't play, and so we have to, and we need to. And I want it to be a tougher non-district. Didn't really want to play Tascosa that far away in the non-district, but they couldn't find any games and we couldn't either. So we both had that open, so we played. Montwood, I like playing an El Paso team. We haven't played them in a long time, so that's going to be different and fun. And then Vandergrift kind of was a deal where we were going to play Cedar Park, and then Vandergrift and Cedar Ridge are in the same district, and they both needed a game. So we just decided instead of playing Cedar Park, we would play one, they would play one, and give us all a game. So we did that, and they're all really good football teams down there. So any of them are fine with me. And we hadn't played Vandergrift, and that'll be fun. So just trying to make it, tough enough to get us better and go into district and know where our weaknesses are and things like that. And we need to play a tough schedule to be ready for the playoffs too. So we're excited about it, and got some new people or teams that we haven't played much. We have played Shoemaker quite a bit, and then the other ones are kind of new. So we're excited, and hopefully it'll bring some excitement to our home games here at the stadium.
Yeah, and that's one of the the cool things. Obviously it's good to get prepared for the playoffs and for the district season, but it's going to create some exciting games for the fans to watch too. And talking real quick about the team next season, I know obviously you may not know as much right now as you normally would, but I remember last year you kind of compared last year's team, kind of that 2012 team that went 6-5 and got into the playoffs in the last game of the season against Lee, and then that kind of set up the run of 5 district championships in a row from 2013 to 2017. So what do you see last year's team kind of that way, and do you think that this is kind of the start of some really good teams coming up for the next several years?
I think they do. Last year's team did remind me of that, just because we're playing a lot of young kids at some crucial spots, and then we had a young quarterback on that team. Malachi wasn't young, but he was still just a junior. And then we had a real young defense on that 12 team, and this defense last year was super young. We had changed coordinators that year, and we changed coordinators this year. So just some things like that kind of reminded me of it, and hopefully we will. I hope the next 4 or 5 years are just like that, except for we can get past that third round. That's been our nemesis, and we're doing some things trying to help that part of it. And I know our kids are working hard. I was super pleased with where we were right when all this happened, and every indication to us is that our kids have stayed in shape and done what we've asked them to do. And so hopefully on June the 8th we'll hit the ground running and be heading towards August the 3rd.
And looking at the district now in 2-6A, Lee has been really good now for a few years under Clint Hartman since he got hired there. We know what Permian brings. They're always pretty good. And, of course, Abilene and Friendship, they were kind of back on track a little bit last year. How do you see the district as far as, like, how good is it maybe compared to last time we were in it? And who do you see as some of the favorites? And where do the Bobcats kind of fit in and all that?
Well, I think it's a real tough district. Like you said, Lee is really good. Permian beat Lee last year, and so Permian's tough. Those two are always going to be perennial powerhouses. And you got Friendship in there who's kind of got to bounce back. Last year, they made the playoffs. They had a pretty dang good year. And Abilene's just, they're going to be right there all the time. That's a big rival game for us. I know that Coach Fullen did a good job last year, and that was his first year as the head coach. So I'm sure there'll be a bunch of improvement there. Midland and Odessa High are both going to be good. They're going to be better than last year. One team that always plays us tougher than anybody is Odessa High. So we always expect them to, no matter if it's here or there or what, every year we played them, it's been a tight ball game. And so we're excited, man. We're just fun. We're excited about being back out west and, being a part of what this means. And, you can talk to people from anywhere, other states even, and they've all heard of the Little Southwest Conference. And, they'll bring it up, and it's just a special thing to be a part of, and it's one of the highlights of my career really was to be able to coach in this district and coach against those teams and just be a part of. Like you go to Rattler Stadium on a Friday night, you go to Grande on a Friday night, or you come here, and Shotwell, and you can just say Shotwell, everybody knows what you're talking about. You don't even have to say the stadium part of it. It's just the history that goes into all these places that makes it fun to be a coach, a high school football coach in the state of Texas, and doesn't get any better than coaching out here.
Absolutely. I think everybody is excited, whether it's fans, the team, the media, getting to for one thing, not have to go to the Metroplex to mess with all that traffic stuff for everybody, including the media and fans and the bus drivers and everything. And then just to get to go, like you said, it's just a different feel on these stadiums out here. It's got that,
it really is.
It's the same. It's like going back to the 1950s, and all that when, and all the traditions, and even before that when it all started with the Little Southwest Conference. So really cool to be back. Do you think that these teams, I just thought about this, are kind of going to be chomping at the bit now to get back at the Bobcats because
I do.
you guys beat them several years in a row. I mean, all of them, before you got realigned into 3-6A. Do you think that they're kind of be excited now to have that chance again to get you guys?
I do think that. I mean, if I was coaching at any of them, I'd be saying the same thing. And we've got to understand that here. We've got a lot to back up. The last time we were in that district, we won it, and we won it 5 years in a row. So yeah, we're proud of that, and that'll be something we talk about. That those last time we were out west, we won that district, and those teams are going to be gunning for us, and we've got to make sure that we know what that means and be prepared for it. So it'll go both ways, and that's what makes it fun to be a part of. Every Friday night you walk out there, it can go your way or it might not. And just because one team's supposed to be better than the other, sometimes it doesn't mean anything. And so it's a blast, man.